Hello and welcome back to HardReset.Info. In this video, I will show you the best camera tips and settings for MOTOROLA Edge 60 Fusion. Let's begin! The very first and probably the most coolest and efficient tip I can show you is a nice shortcut, or more like a gesture, that you can use to enable your camera anytime. And it's a simple twist of your wrist. As you can see, whenever I will just do this, the camera will automatically open. In order to enable this feature, we can go into settings and scroll through the whole bunch of gestures, or we can go to the camera. We can go to the settings right here in the top right corner, then we can scroll down, and we can go to quick capture. And you might want to make sure that it is on. We can scroll down and we can see that we can also switch to what our gesture should open. Currently it is set to rear camera, but you can also switch it to selfie camera or auto. And if I remember correctly, then it should switch to something that you last used. So if you have used the selfie camera last, then it will automatically switch to that selfie camera, which is also incredibly convenient. And like the Moto is just known, Motorola phones are known for nice bunch of very convenient and useful shortcuts and also gestures. Anyway, going into the whole camera itself, I want to show you that if you scroll all right here into the more and then hit that pencil icon, we can, for example, capture and drag, for example, the scan, because scan just works like Google Lens basically, and it allows you to scan any QR code, and having that built into camera is pretty convenient, but needing to go into more every time you want to use it is not as convenient, right? Well, luckily you can just hold and drag the scan option and drag it right here. So you not only can drag it around here, but you can, for example, take it right next to the photo. Let's hit done. Let's leave it now. And as you can see right here, we now have the scan option that will look for our document, which is incredibly helpful, especially if you tend to use a lot of QR codes on your way of using your Moto Edge 60 Fusion. Then we have just the whole showcase of all the things that are inside of the more. I won't be focusing on all of them because we do have tutorial, maybe not from each and every one, but you can probably take a guess that you probably know what a panorama is or a time-lapse is or whatever, but still many people are not using these options, and it's pretty easy to know why, because maybe the time-lapse is pretty cool, but it's also incredibly limiting, right? So is the panorama, so is the photo booth or dual capture video and all of that stuff. Luckily we have Pro option, and Pro option is just a normal photo option. However, here we can basically manipulate every single thing, from the white balance, just like that, to the basically, I think it's the how fast your camera captures stuff, through the ISO level and all of that. It's incredibly convenient, especially if you are someone that's probably can even see a nice diagram right here, especially if you are someone who knows how to do a nice photos. However, if you don't know how to do a nice photos, then don't worry, because there's still some hope for you. The very first thing that you should enable if you want to capture better photos is to go here into camera settings, and then if we scroll down a little, we have something that's called Capture Assistant. We can click on it, and now we can enable assistive grid and leveler. We can enable both of these, and now I will show you how they look like and what they do. We can even go to normal photo now, and as you can see, a little grid appeared. And now if I will, for example, try to do a photo of this, I can actually move my logo here. If I try to do a photo of my logo, we can see that this bar is now blue, meaning that it will it says me, it basically says that our level is correct. But if I will move my phone, if I will tilt it to the right, we can see that now our level is just not good enough. And the same things go if we do something like that. And the grid is barely visible, but I think you can easily see that there's one line, second line, third and fourth line right here. And we can easily use that lines to basically center around our stuff, just like that. And of course, a quick reminder that you can use not only a zoom in like that, but you can also use these shortcuts right here, and also the macro option if you want to, in order to take stunning high quality, now it's actually level up, high quality videos of different items. However, something about resolution is also pretty cool. If we scroll all the way to the right, we have something that's called ultra resolution. Sometimes you will get a warning that it doesn't really fit with current build, let's say, with current lighting. But if we look really closely at our logo, let's center it and let's create a photo, we can now see just how incredible this feature is. Just look at that. Like, did you even spot it? These details. I mean, obviously this camera right here is not that good as this camera is, but oh my god, the quality is incredible. Anyway, leaving the photos themselves, we can actually move into the videos, because in the videos there's also plenty of things you can change. The very first one, and probably the thing that maybe annoys some of the people, is the limitation of resolution. We can easily check it if we go right here into the tab, and now we can switch from 30 to 60 FPS and from Full HD to 4K. However, as you can see, when we are recording in the 4K resolution, we cannot record at the same time in the 4K and within 60 FPS. It is a pretty disappointing thing that, you know, you can't really squeeze every single thing and every single processing power from this phone. But once again, it's pretty understandable, because a video with quality of 4K pixels and the refresh rate of 60 frames per second would be incredibly hard to create and record even on such a powerful device. And if you want to record such videos, you need a professional camera, unfortunately. However, going further into videos, we don't have the option to just record one simple thing with, you know, the video. But I want to show you the slow motion option, which is also incredibly cool. I will now take the phone and now I will try to record something with it. I can actually do that right here. And now I will take my logo here and I will basically drop it. So now I am recording my video now. I will take it and now I can drop it. Just like that. And as you can see, I was just recording it normally. It didn't take more than 10 seconds maybe. However, if we go into our gallery, we can see that it should be in the slow motion. The slow motion gets applied randomly. As you can see, currently it's been applied at the moment of me picking up the logo, which is unfortunate, though this video is a bit longer. And now we have a nice slow-mo for the fall of the logo. We can easily do that. And if you're paying attention, you could see that we had a nice edit option. If we go into edit option, we can, for example, do also a bunch of interesting things. For example, we can export different frames from our videos. So we can export them as just normal images. We can do a stabilize if you want to. And I believe it will use an AI something in order to stabilize this photo, but I don't want to do that now because it will take quite a lot of time. And lastly, we have the enhance option. which will basically bump up certain colors, so in theory it should look nicer. But we can disable this option, and of course, as usual, we can move around our whole video like that. We can change, for example, something like this, and move it around also, which is also pretty interesting. You know, we can do a very big amounts of stuff. And of course, this is only after you have made your photo or you have made your video. However, what if I told you that you can actually use some of these features while doing these photos and recording these videos? We can easily do that by going into settings. And first of all, we can switch from standard to high resolution, though keep in mind that this will increase the size of every single photo you take. So if you tend to do a lot of photos, then your memory will probably deplete a lot faster. And if we scroll down, we have something that's called AI audio. Don't quote me on that, because I doubt that this feature works very good, to be honest. It sounds like something that's working at best. Though if you tend to record a lot of zoomed videos, you probably want to give this one a try. Then if we scroll down, we have something that's called efficient videos. Efficient videos are pretty interesting, but they are I can only advise you to use those if you are exporting your videos or your photos into some third-party software that can enhance your photos, because otherwise you really shouldn't use these at all. Then scrolling down, we have keep last mode, which is incredibly powerful, because normally when you go to the camera and, for example, switch to photo and you want to go and set timer or other stuff, you have to manually do that every single time. And with that setting enabled, you don't have to, because it will now keep the last settings you've chosen last. We can also disable our shutter sound, which is, well, it might be annoying to some people, or for others it might work as a nice information that I did indeed take this photo. I can actually take my logo now, since I'm not recording it. And lastly, we have capture methods, because Capture Assistant, I already told you that. We can do those, we can enable these options to basically make photos easier. As you can see, we have show your palm to take a selfie. So, we're recording a selfie, we do something like that, and then it should take a selfie. The auto smile is, I believe, pretty self-explanatory, and tap anywhere to capture is also self-explanatory. You just have to tap anywhere on the screen, not only on the shutter button, but on anywhere on your screen in order to take a photo. Lastly, speaking about AI things, if we go to the photo, we have a bunch of icons here. You probably know most of these, like this is just a shortcut to the Google Lens themselves. This is just a flash, this is the screen ratio, the aspect ratio of your photos, and all of that stuff. However, there is one thing that is incredibly interesting, and this is this icon right here. If we click it, we will see that it's something called image preference, and here we can choose our image style preference. We can switch from natural, which will basically take a photo as the camera sees it, or we can do auto enhance, and I spoke before that you can basically enhance your photos during the process of taking them, and this is the feature I was talking about. As you can see, you can switch to auto enhance, and we can hit done, and now the processing time of taking photos might be a little longer. We can test that, so we can make a photo of our logo here. It is a little bit shorter. I believe that if I would want to take a photo of a giant landscape or something grand, then the time of taking photo might be a lot longer, I agree. However, as you can see, currently it doesn't do much because I'm in well-lit environment, and the auto enhancements can't really showcase themselves that good. But if you care and if you want to have a nice looking photos, then you probably want to think about the image preference and auto enhance option, with a drawback that the capture time might be a little bit longer. But anyway, that's all from this video. If you found it useful, please remember to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.